everyone, welcome back to Great Sports Debates. And before we jump into these Week 5 NFL picks, let's recap how we did again. So, Thursday night game, we said at least multi-units on Detroit, especially if you can get a -3. We hit that. Detroit won 34-20. So that's at least a 2-unit win right there. The Jacks one we avoided, but we said lean Jacksonville. Jacksonville covered plenty. Our upset special, we said bet at least 1 unit. Houston would win outright, but I preferred to take the points there with +3.5. They didn't need them. Houston won 30-6 over Pittsburgh. Okay, the Rams-Indy game is another one that we said to avoid. Minnesota, Carolina, we said at least 1 unit. I thought about doing 2 units, but I wound up only doing 1 just because Minnesota has been disappointing all year long. But they easily covered, winning 21-13. All right, on the Tampa Bay New Orleans game, we put a good amount of money on there. The one we gave in the pick segment said to take the under, which did hit under 39.5 with Tampa Bay winning 26-9. And if you're subscribed and got the subscriber special, you know we did a 3.5 unit, 2-team 6-point tease that Tampa was a part of. We teased them up +9. They didn't need it, and we won the tease. In the Philadelphia game, we mentioned avoid the basic line, but we had a special on the subscriber special. This was part of our other 2-team teaser. We teased Philly down to -2.5, and they barely made it. So that was the only scary one of the subscriber specials, but they all paid. That was another 3.5 unit bet. We did bet 1 unit on Miami straight up to beat Buffalo. That one didn't go so well. We took the under 42.5 in the Tennessee-Cincinnati game. I did think Cincinnati was going to win, but it didn't matter because we bet the under, and Tennessee won 27-3. Baltimore was the team we had the most money on last week. We wound up taking them outright for a standard 1 unit at -1.5 when we heard Watson was out. We also, earlier in the week when Baltimore was actually an underdog at +2.5, they were teased up to 8.5 with that Tampa game I mentioned. And of course, again, they didn't need the points at all. Baltimore won 28-3. Okay, and the one of the other ones we got burned on, I think we lost 3 units and we won over double digits, so another great week. But another one we lost, my own fault. I broke my own rule. I said earlier this year, if Denver, I don't care who they're playing, if they're getting more than 3 points, I'm taking that team. I thought Chicago was so bad, I took Denver minus the 3.5, and sure enough, Denver screwed me by 0.5 point. Maybe if they would have woke up and started playing that game a little bit sooner, but that's one where we lost 1 unit. The Chargers covered 24-17. They tried to mess it up, but that was another bet 1 unit. Chargers minus 5.5. They covered 24-17. Dallas, we had them minus 6.5. I know later on I think that went to -7. Didn't matter. Dallas won big 38-3. And they were also, we teased them with the Philly game we mentioned from -6.5 to straight up, which again, easy win, 3.5 units. Plus the regular bet, that's 4.5 on Dallas, same as Baltimore. The San Francisco-Arizona one was another one we avoided. I did say I would lean to Arizona to cover. They weren't able to do that. San Francisco rolls again, 35-16. And the last one we missed on, Kansas City. This was a maybe bet 1 unit, so you might have bet 1 unit. We wound up betting 1 unit because we were having a hell of a week. And we took Kansas City early, so that was minus 9.5. They could have and should have covered that, but you know they're playing to win the game. had a terrible third quarter, but still won the game 23-20. And of note, probably Zach Wilson's best game he's had yet. I feel kind of like what Miami did with Tua, obviously not comparing those two, but get the ball out early and good things happen. And then finally, this is before the Monday night game, but this is a 2-unit special. Somehow Seattle was the underdog here or initially. That's reverted to I think they're -1.5 now. But we got on them early and did 2 units on the money line. Seattle should win easily, probably by about 10. So let's get into this week's picks now. And we'll start with Chicago at Washington. I think the ceiling is the Bears scoring 20 here. They had their breakout game against the worst defense they're going to play in Denver, where they got 28 and couldn't do anything in the second half. Not that Washington's played great defense, but they have potential to play good defense. And I think they're going to have a good run-pass mix. Chicago hasn't been able to stop anybody. This line has been growing in Washington's favor. I think it went from 3.5 to 5.5. Either way, I think Washington wins by a touchdown. That is worth a unit. All right, Jacksonville at Buffalo. I think Buffalo is just too strong for Jacksonville. I think they're going to win bigger in the spread. It was -4.5. I like Buffalo -4.5 for a unit. I got them winning 31-20. In the next game, we have Tennessee at Indianapolis. This is going to be an avoid. I don't have a good read on either of these teams. So 2 of the teams I've got to see the least. I'm going to call it Tennessee 21, Indianapolis 24, but I'm not betting anything on this game. All right, the Texans game at Atlanta. I think they win by a touchdown. Take the Texans, bet 1 unit there. Okay, I tried to get the Lions game before it crossed the 7. I wasn't able to get it. That number's been moving fast. I probably should have locked in there because it's probably going to continue to grow. And I think I will eventually because I do think the Lions win big here by probably double digits. I got it 18-30 for Detroit. So I haven't bet a unit on this yet, but this is probably going to be bet a unit on the Detroit Lions. This is another one where I missed out. Baltimore was -1.5. Now it's at least 3.5. And maybe it's more already. I couldn't get them at 1.5, so I didn't want to take the 3.5. I probably should have because I think it's going to get worse, not better. But it's already over 3, so I figured I'd sit and wait. I think Baltimore wins pretty comfortably by a touchdown or so. I got them winning 28-20. In the next game, we got the Saints at the Patriots. I'm predicting a score around 20-17, 21-17, somewhere in there. The under was 40.5. I got on that. I think it's dropped to 39. Maybe still good value there for that 1 unit. If the number approaches 40, I'd definitely go under. Both of these teams have struggled to score 20 points. The only little scary part is that Kamara and maybe Carr will be back. But I like the under here. Giants at Miami. This should be a beatdown. I'm going to watch this Monday night game before I make a bet. I want to say that Miami's probably favored by 6 to 7. I haven't seen it, but I think they win by more than that. I always hate laying more than 7, but in this case, it's probably worth a unit to take Miami minus the points. Philadelphia at the Rams. I'm not sure what the spread is. This is probably going to be a void unless it's a really big number. I'll go with the Rams. Or, you know, if it's under a field goal, I'll probably go with Philly. I doubt it's going to be either of those, so probably a void. But if you hit either one of those extremes of, 7 or more, ride with the Rams. Under a field goal, take the Eagles. Cincinnati at Arizona. I'd like to check what the over-under is on this. I don't remember. I don't think this is one I'm going to be betting. I got Arizona edging them out 21-20. I have to see the line. Maybe if it's a crazy number, I will bet a unit. But again, two teams I don't really trust, and I'd probably be looking to see what the under is here. All right, we have the Jets at the Broncos. I like the Jets by a field goal here. I think they're smaller favorites than that, so take the Jets. Denver's just proven to be terrible. And like I said, maybe, just maybe, Wilson's turning the corner to be a decent quarterback. All right, the Chiefs at Minnesota. This is probably going to be an avoid. Kansas City's just not won by a lot in many other games. Of course, they killed Chicago, but everyone kills Chicago. I think Minnesota has the offense to keep up with them. I definitely think Kansas City's going to win. So if there's a good money line bet, that might be worth a unit. I want to say Kansas City's favored by 4.5 right now. I don't like that. If it gets to a field goal or less, I'm definitely taking Kansas City. I don't think there's an amount of points I would take Minnesota with. Maybe if it went over a touchdown. But any of those scenarios, KC money line, if it gets to a field goal or less KC, or over 7, I might do a unit on Minnesota. Otherwise, probably an avoid, or I'll do an update when I get all my picks done. We'll probably look for an over here too, because I'm sure it is a big number, but if we can get any kind of value, close to, obviously if it was in the 40s, we'd go over, but low 50s, it would be a consideration point. Big game of the week. This is where you see who the baddest baddie is. I like San Francisco winning by about 4 or so. The line's at 3.5. Probably going to avoid it. If I do bet anything, I'm going to do San Francisco minus the points. I feel like San Francisco is going to be able to score against that defense, especially because we've seen that the Cowboys have a weakness to the run, and San Francisco can run the ball. I haven't bet a unit on this yet, but I think I'm probably going to wind up betting at least a unit on San Francisco here. And the really bad Monday night game is Green Bay at the Raiders. I got the Raiders winning by about 6 or so. So I'm definitely going to take Green Bay minus the points. This is more just an indictment on how bad I think the Raiders are. Again, they're starting a rookie quarterback who didn't do terrible last week, but that's kind of where we're at. And as a reminder, week 5 is the first week when you start having buys. Sorry if this is one of your teams, it's kind of a bad time to get a buy, but it's Tampa, Cleveland, Seattle, and the Chargers on a buy this week. So those are the picks. We'll have some updates, and for the subscribers, I'll give my golden picks, which is another couple of 2-team teasers that should be a sure thing. As always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit me in the comment section.